Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Before we start the session, here is a housekeeping notes for all of you. You could write your question at the live event Q&A corner, and we shall compile the questions and discuss with our speaker after her sharing. Once again, good morning. I'm today moderator Jaslyn from InfoTrack. Here I'm pleased to welcome you to the workshop on Unlock the Power of Google Sheet. As we know, Google Sheet is an online spreadsheet program in real time. It was designed with the needs of agile organization, which enable you to collaborate with anyone, anytime, anywhere with no cost. It is best choice for those organizations that do not often need to use advanced data analysis tools and look for a relatively simple way to organize data and collaborate with the team. So in just 45 minutes later, you could discover the secrets of maximizing your Google Sheet potential. Learn how to extract the correct data, highlight important information with conditional formatting, and even get a sneak peek into the powerful pivot table function in Google Sheet. So today we have Ms. Jarina Ismail, who is actively trained for Microsoft Excel and Google Sheet training since 2005. Without further ado, I would like to invite our speaker today, Ms. Jarina. Jarina, are you ready?
Yeah, hi, Jaslyn.
Yeah, so if ready, I will pass the floor to you.
Okay, thank you, Jaslyn. Hi, everyone. Good morning. So my name is Jarina. So today I would like to share some of the tips and tricks inside the Google Sheet. And we have picked some of the lessons or the topics that I would like to share with you. So allow me to share my screen. Okay, hope everyone can see my screen. So today's lessons that we are going to discover for today's one will be how do we create a drop-down list or a checkbox and also make a unique list from your huge data set. And also when we are sharing some of the report or even forms, how do we protect selected range so that the other user not making any accidental changes and so on. And also like highlighting the important data with conditional formatting. And also how do we like get a quick summary by using pivot table. So I would like to start with the drop-down list here. So example, we are preparing like purchase order. And the purchase order here, I would like to make a shipment. So if I allow my salespeople go and key in the shipment via what types the factory, they might sometimes making like different spelling. And later when we are doing reporting due to the spelling, we are not able to compile the same type of company and so on. So that is quite tedious by end of the day. So I would like to make a drop down for them so that they can pick from the drop down I've given. So the drop down is actually categorized as one of the data validation features here. So I'm now at this cell, and this is a like merged cell between D and E, and I'm at the row number 12 here. So from here, we need to go to data tab. And from the data tab, we can get to see the drop down, and the drop down here, we can go for data validation. So this is going to open up the another pane on your right hand side. And currently there is like no rule in the current worksheet. So we are going to like add in a new rule. So after clicking on add in a new rule, then we can see that apply to which range that we are. So now my worksheet name is purchase order, and also the cell, which is like a merged D and E column from row number 12. Next, we are going to check the criteria. So this is a drop down. So I would like to make a drop down, and with the drop down option here, I can see that option 1 and 2. So we allow to customize the option 1. Example, I put option 1 DHL and option 2 as a FedEx. And I need to like add in one more. Then I just go to add another item. So that item, I'm going to have, let's say, Skynet. Okay, so we allow to add in multiple items. And if, let's say, the item is not relevant, you have accidentally added, we have also option to delete the option. So just go to the recycle bin icon here to remove the value. So after giving this drop down comes together with highlighting as well. So for example, later on when I already complete my purchase order, I would like to easily see that, okay, DHL, I want to make it like green color. Then I know just by looking at the color that belongs to DHL. Or FedEx, I would like to make it to a purple color. So easy recognizing the data by using the color as well. So beside the name, you're allowed to set the coloring as well. So example, I'm setting up green for DHL. So the circle here in order to set the coloring option here. Then we can choose any of the color, and Skynet, I'm going to use a pink color. So after we do that, then we can move to the advanced option. So under the advanced option, we can have the help text. So the help text, like for example, if the user go to that cell, how do we prompt them, like what do they need to do? So sometimes, like even though I'm the one setting up, but the user not sure, they might start to key in on their own. So we can actually like give a notification to them by using the help text here. So the help text, I put it here, choose from list. So that can be customized according to how you want to notify the user. Next, we go to the, when they enter the invalid data, are you going to like show them warning, but you still accept the input? Or do you want to like reject the input? So let's say I don't want, because I only have the 3 shipping, only need to choose. So if other input, I'm going to reject. And also the display style as a chip. And interesting part here, while we are defining all the setting, we always allow to see the preview inside the cell already. So for example, now after I do this here, now the display style is a chip. So I can see that this is like a oval shape. We call it as a chip. Then only there is an arrow to click to have the drop down. But for example, you just wanted to have the drop down without the option of the circle, then we can make it as a arrow. And plain text. Plain text meaning the user need to key in. But then because we don't want them to key in on their own due to the spelling issues, so I will still either make as a chip or the arrow lah. So I'm going to make a chip style, and then once I've done the setting, then click on the done option. So the rule is already added, and that rule is applied to D12. So to test it out, when we are like coming to here, right, then we can see that the options are given. And also, as I mentioned, the colors are easy to recognize. So we can just go and choose from the drop down. So are we allowed to like key in on our own? For example, now I'm going to put it as a ABC. Then that is the help text just now we entered. So when I put in a wrong input and then try to go next, then there will be like a prompt. And as I mentioned, it will be rejecting our input. So the user know that, oh, we are not allowed to choose, so not allowed to key in. So we just need to choose from the list given lah. So with that, if let's say I would like to edit the shipping option one more, then I just like go back here to the data validation rule pane on your right, and then we can just go and edit that option here. So whenever you just click on it, it allows you to see again the setting. So for example, now, once I have done the changes, I go here, then I just need to like come here and click on it to edit the rule here. Okay. So then for this example, the list like very short, I can just key in the option 1, 2, 3. But then if you may say that I would like to have the items to be selected, and my item list that the company is selling like 100 over, and I don't want to like key in one by one under the option. So are we allowed to like, if you already have a master list of all your products, are we allowed to choose from there? Yes. So then you can actually create one master list in another sheet or in the same worksheet. So I'm having my master list in another sheet with all my products. Then I would like to make this as a drop down. So I come back to my purchase order and I would like to set for my multiple cell. So then I'm selecting the multiple cell. Then I'm coming to the data validation rule pane on the right, and I'm going to add in another rule. So the rule will be on the selected cell. And with that, this is going to be a drop down. So under the criteria, we can see that drop down from a range. So this allows you to choose from another worksheet or another row or column option. So when I'm going to this, then it allows me to like click on the source that I'm having. So I'm just going to choose, select a data range here. And then the selection, I need to go to the other sheet and then selecting all these items and then click OK. So now you can notice that all the items are already listed down here. And we know that the list coming from, the drop down coming from another worksheet called list as well. At the same time, we also allowed to set the coloring. So I hope that the coloring option just now I demo to you. So this one, I'm just leaving it without coloring. Then when I go to the advanced option, then I can see the help text and also the input. So if not in my product list, I'm going to reject the input. And then the display style, I'm going to make it as a arrow style without the chip. So once I've done that, then click on done. Then I'm going to return to the purchase order worksheet. Then from here now I can see that all of this will have the drop down. And also we are allowed to set, for example, if you say that, how if I would like to add in a new drop down, like maybe I'm introducing new product, then we can actually define a name range, and using the name range inside the data validation drop down. So that helps you to like make a dynamic list here. So with that, I'm going to like go and choose the item, but this item, because I didn't set up any color, then it will just remain as the same, follow the formatting under your worksheet or the cell formatting on it. So with that, we also allow to like get the other type of condition. So the next I would like to share with you selection. So for example, now here, I would like to have a services. And when we do this shipping, they allow to choose the services like wrapping, boxing, and also make it as a fragile item. And the user are allowed to choose more than one item from here. So with that, I would like to make another data validation under this 3 cell. So once you have selected, then I'm going to the data validation rule, add rule. And then from here, it's a drop down. So when I go to the criteria, there are for like text type of data you can validate, or you can validate date type of data, or number type of data. And also we have the tick box option. So when I choose the tick box, then the selected cell will have the tick box already, or we call it as a checkbox. Okay. And then after I get it, then if let's say you would like to customize what is the tick or untick meaning, then I'm going to like tick custom cell value. And then we can say that if tick meaning we would like to agree to that, or like I can customize like yes or no option, or needed or not needed. So maybe I would like to put it as a needed and not needed. So you can customize the wording. And this is quite important because from this data, at the end, we would like to do something like a summary type of this thing. So this data input will be needed. I mean, as a summarization, you can see without just a checkbox true and false, what does it mean? But you can customize the options accordingly. So once I do that, then the warning message, and then I'm accepting the warning and then done. So with that, when I go to each of the cell, like now it's a tick, then you notice that the value we are capturing inside here will be needed. So as I mentioned, when you do the summary, then for example, pivot, the value is captured as needed. So for data analysis, it's important with the wording as well. So the second and third, now I haven't ticked, so it remains as not needed. So these are some of the data validation that we can set up here. And also the advantage of the pane on the right, it can allow you to view in this current worksheet, what are the cells do you have the data validation? Even though your cursor not in the data validation cell, but it will like show for all the cells that we have. Okay, so that's my demo on how do we create a drop down and also the checkbox. Next, I'm moving on to how do we get a unique list? So sometimes our companies, right, we do have like system and the data we like import from the system, yeah? So let's say for the purchasing order, I have a system and also the system captured all the data from the form. And then when I'm importing the data to do further analysis, I notice that the customer name over here, I might have the repeated order by same customer. So when I'm counting, of course, it will count together with the repeated entry. And I would like to make a unique list of or master list of customer without a repetition. So, and at the same time, I would like to make a new list. So this purchase order remain, and I'm going to like get the customer list. And now my cursor in B2, I'm using a shortcut Control Shift and arrow down in order to get the list to be selected easily here. So because you notice that my entries are like from the row number 2 until row number 2403. So the shortcut will be from the first cell, you just press Control Shift arrow down. It will quickly select until the last cell. Then with that, I'm going to like copy the range. So I'm using the shortcut key Control C to copy, or you also can go to like on your toolbar to copy the data here. Then we are moving to I already created the new worksheet customer list. It is empty right now. And I'm going to paste it at the column B. So once I paste it, then I would like to get this list as a unique list. So I'm like selecting the range of the data with the same shortcut. Then I'm going to data tab, and from the data tab, a few options at the bottom here we can see data cleanup. So when you come to the data cleanup, then we are going to get the remove duplicate. So then it will prompt you with the options for data cleanup. And first thing I would like to check, my data has a row header. So I take that, so customer is considered as a header. Then like which column do you would like to select? So with that, I'm selecting so currently there is only one column, B, which is customer column. And then I'm agree with the remove duplicate. So I'm just going to get that. So now we notice that there are 2,402 rows. So when we remove duplicate, then the notification tells us 2251 duplicate found and then removed. So we only have like 150 unique remain. So when I click OK, then I'm going to get the master list of all my customers. So very quick, you can just like get the master list for it. So just now we only use like single column. For example, maybe now I would like to get another options for how can I make like customer together with the what product they do buy. So maybe one customer, they buy the product and the same product, they might be ordered few times, but I just want to know this customer particularly what are the item they are buying. So I'm going to like copy maybe more than one column. So the selection, for example, I'm selecting from the customer to the product column and I copy this data going to I would like to create a new worksheet, add a sheet, paste it from the B to and then I just want to keep the customer and the product column and then deleting the other column C to G. Okay, so I have the customer list together with the product. And also we want to know that customer, what type of product they are buying. So I'm selecting the entire range for both column and go to the data tab and then data cleanup, remove duplicate. So now we are selecting both column B and C. So then, for example, if let's say the combination customer A, they buy orange, again customer A, but then they buy banana. So even though by customer name it is considered duplicate, but because they are buying different product, it is not a duplicate. So you will look into the combination of the two columns to detect the duplicate. So now there are like 1329 duplicate, then how many unique value remain? So with that, we don't have to be worried about if let's say, even though there are multiple columns and you would like to choose the selected column to detect on the duplicate. So the combination is considered like whether it is a duplicate or not. So you can create the list, master list or unique item. Okay. Then next, I would like to move on to the protection of your data range here. So usually like we create template like forms or template or even reporting. We are setting up a lot of formulas and formatting and we don't want the other user to like go and simply edit those data. So in order to like prevent them from editing those, we can do the protection of the sheet or the selected range also. So I would like to use my purchase order. And then in purchase order, I can see that under total price, and also the subtotal, shipping, sales tax, including the total. I'm already setting up the formula. So later I don't want the user to go and edit the formula. So I'm like selecting the range over here. And then we go to the tab. Data tab. Then we have option to protect sheets and range. So then always we get the one more pane on the right hand side. Yeah. So if you are familiar with other application and other application, maybe I would say that, for example, Excel, normally it will pop up a dialog box. So, but mainly on the Google Sheet, everything that you are going to set up, it will open up another pane on your right. So then with that, I can see the range that I'm selected here, which is from the current sheet purchase order, age 21 to age 28. That is my selection. Then I would like to set the permission for it. And most important, we are checking on this is a range password. So when you go to set permission, then the option will be given. Show a warning when editing this range. That will be one of the options. Or restrict who can edit this range. Okay. So like I'm saying that I don't want others to edit. So I'm only setting up the option like only me going to like edit this here. And for example, in your organization, you also allow another teammate to edit, but the other salesperson not allowed to edit. Then we can go by the custom option. So when you go to the custom option, then we can go and enter the editor's name over here. So for example, under this, right? If let's say I'm going to set up like another entry over here. So with that, we allow another user to like edit that option. So you can add in like few people who can edit the cell. So with that, I'm just going to get it done. Saving the changes. And also it will prompt you that because like I'm the one creating, it will immediately prompt you, would you like to share with that person? Then I'm going to like share that to that person. Yeah. So this person is actually outside of my organization. This is like another Gmail. Okay. Then I already like allow the permission over here. So with that, that range is already added with the protection part. Yeah. So for example, like later, if I'm just sharing this to my other teammates, they are not allowed to edit, but then only for myself, and then the teammate that I said who can edit the range. So if let's say we want to do some changes for it, or but before that, if let's say I close my pane on the right, then the data validation pane will come up because just now I didn't close. So then none of the panes are popping up over here. So let's say if I would like to do the setting again, we go back to data drop down and get it from the protect sheet and the range. And then you can come out with the setting of the range that we have done. So for example, let's say if you want to like make any changes into that, then we just need to click on it. Then you can go again for the change permission. And then the change permission can come back and then allow you to add maybe more users or remove the user that you set them to edit. So the changes will be updated from here. So then you allowed to also set up like another type of protection here. So let's say if I would like to go for my okay. So for this, I would like to also set up another protection. So this is considered my master list of the product. So I would like to go again to the protect sheet and the range. Then if I would like to add in a new, I can just add a sheet or range. Okay. So let's say if I'm going to the worksheet protection. So we have multiple sheets. So my current sheet will be the list worksheet. And when you are protecting the entire worksheet, maybe certain cell you would like to give some exemption. So we also allowed to set up certain exemption cell. So for example, I'm setting up the, let's say B1 until B4 as my exemption. So that maybe we want to like add some comments or any detail on the product. So that is the exception range that I can do it. And with that, the range already selected. Like OK on this. Okay. After that, only we go to set permission. So when you come to the permission, because just now I'm sharing the file together with my another teammate, so then they can see that. Then from here, we also can go and edit. For example, maybe I would like to add another person or remove. So for now, I'm just accepting the same entries here. Done. Okay. So then with that, we can notice this list worksheet is protected, but just that the cell B1 to BA is like exempted from here. So that particular cell, maybe my other teammates allowed to edit, but the column A, column C, or other column and cell not allowed to edit. Okay, I can see some of the questions over here. Once I complete the demo, I will come to the Q&A session by end of the session here. Okay, so that is the protection on the worksheet and the range. And after we do that, right? For example, let's say you the range of the option can be here. So even though you have like multiple sheet, we can view all the protection from here. And then, for example, this protection, it's let's say not needed anymore. Then we can just go and click on it. And you also have the option to delete the protection. So maybe while I'm collecting the data, I need the protection, but once all the entries are done, I would like to make a normal sheet that everyone can edit. Then I can remove the protection from here. So when you click on one of the permission that we set on the protection, we are allowed to remove it. Okay, so that is a few examples on protecting the sheet and also protecting the range. Next, we are moving to the conditional formatting. So conditional formatting, like mostly to easily identify your data. So in order to like X the okay. So this is my order list. And from this order list here, I have like noticed the sales method. And we have a different type of sales method. And then I would like to do like a quick recognition on the sales method. So first I need to choose the data range. Now I'm in the cell K3, then Control Shift arrow down to highlight until the end of the data. Then after my selection, I go to the Format tab. So from the Format tab, we have Conditional Formatting. So when we go to the Conditional Formatting, then another pane open up here. Then we can see that, do you want to have the conditional formatting rule according to like single color? Yes, because I just want to make all the online with one color. Then I just go and set the single color, and the range just now already selected. Or if let's say you still want to modify the range, then we can go and click on it to choose again the range. And then coming to the format, the rule is not empty. So this is more to the criteria we want to set for the coloring option. So this give you like a very long list and quite flexible for what type of data are we keeping here. So for example, if you are keeping like text type of data, then you can choose any of these option. Or if let's say we are going by date type of data, then we can use this category, date before, after, or current today's date. And then also for a value or a number, we can use all the greater than, less than, or between option here. And I'm going to choose, because this is a text, text is exactly. Then I need to enter the value for that. So I'm going to just type the online. So when I key in the online, I immediately can see that the color is already applied. And also under the formatting, even though the custom format is already, the default format is already there, we still allowed to customize the formatting. So like I would like to change the field color to blue and also make it italic and whatever the format. So once I've done that, then just click on the done option. Okay, so the rule is already added to this range here. So easy to focus or identify on the important data. How if let's say you want to do multiple coloring? So example, in my shipping column here, we have different types of CityLink, FedEx, and Skynet. So I would like to make a different coloring for this. So first I'm going to do the selection of the range. Add another rule. So the range is already selected. Then I'm using the text that exactly. Oh, sorry. Sorry, we still use the single coloring option here. So text is exactly, then I can enter the value here. So for example, I put a Skynet for it here. And the color, maybe I leave it as a green color. Okay, so that rule being added. So if let's say I want to have a multiple coloring on the different type of shipping, then I can have it. But my main shipping will be Skynet. So I need just go and highlight those Skynet only. Okay. Then we are coming to, let's say, sales. And this is a number type of value. And this one I can set like range of coloring here. So for the range of coloring, now I'm selecting all the numbers here. And we go to add another rule. And under the rule, we are having the color scale. So not only like single coloring, but you can have a color scale for it. So when I choose the color scale, now the default coloring is the green. then I can just go and click to choose the other coloring option as well. And with that, we notice that the minimum value will be given with the darkest red, and then the maximum value will be given with the white color. And this is like a gradient field. So the gradient field will be like when it goes to the range of the data, right? Then it can like gradually go and change the coloring. So the most lowest will be getting darker, or the most highest will be getting the white color range. Or even though if you say the white color, I would like to make a different color, we can customize. Or we also can choose the reverse option, the lowest one with the white and the highest one with the red. So it's like a do range of the data. So for me, like the highest one is always the good by the sales. So I'm setting up with the reverse option now. Then I just go and check the value here. So now we are setting up based on the selection of the data, minimum or maximum. But let's say if you would like to set your own rule, maybe you can say that, but how the system know what is the lowest? I would like to set a benchmark for it. Then we can change the mean point to, let's say, if it is below 1000, it's considered lower. And then if it is like above 7,000, that is considered very high. So that is the range we are providing to them. And then based on the range you have decided, then it will give you the coloring option. So that will be the range of color here. So with that, we notice that the darker or lighter based on the selection, then we can actually get the important value accordingly. So you can spot the trend of your data, whether it's like keep increasing, dropping based on the color as well. And if it is your data with a summarized value, then easily can focus on that as well. And we are moving to the last lesson. And I hope during the training we can cover more. And pivot table. So of course, we are talking about big data analysis. When I pull out the data, how can I quickly summarize? Even though formulas allow you to do that, but the quick summary, we can make it by using pivot table. So I'm also using my data from the order list. So I noticed the range of the data quite huge, and I don't get to see like total sales by manager or team. So I would like to make it into the pivot. So I just need to position my cursor on the first cell. Then we go to the insert tab. So from the insert tab, we have pivot table. So then the range will be automatically captured starting from B2 until 02403. And I want the pivot to go to the new worksheet. Create. So we are getting a blank layout on the pivot. And then on your right hand side here, we can see the pivot table editor. And the pivot table editor will have the range of the data over here. And then like nowadays, all the apps are becoming more AI type of apps. So they also can help you to suggested report from the data. So example, the suggested one, sum of expenses for each manager. So with that, I can see the manager with the total expenses, put it over here. So we do have the suggested pivot table based on the data given. Then when I choose the suggested, I notice that the manager data or a column added to the row. So the data being arranged like Bob, Dane until the last manager. And also together with that, I would like to have the total also for all the manager. And the manager name are sorted in ascending order. So that I can see by default, even though in my data set, it's like jumble up, not in a proper sorting order, but I can see Bob until Sam. Or maybe you can say, no, Rina, we would like to make it the most highest expenses we would like to position on top. So the ascending order, I make it with the sum of expenses. So we can view the summary like who is the top spending manager. So we can like go and choose the column from here and also show the total together here. And column, there is no data. For the value, when we get the suggested one, I already have the value with the expenses into the value. And then we are getting by default the calculation, which is sum. And I would like to like customize the suggested report where the managers are doing sales in multiple regions. So I would like to break down by the region. So on my right, then I can see all the column header from my source data. So let's say if I'm dragging the region into the row, so like I'm going to position it below the manager or above the manager. So you can see that when we just drag it, where do you want to position it? So I'm putting it above. So like, for example, central, all the manager with the expenses, east, all the manager with the expenses. But then this layout may be not very suitable here due to the managers are doing sales in all the region. And due to that, the manager name keep repeating and your report become too long. So how can we simplify the report? We want to add the region into the column breakdown. So from here, we just need to drag it and put it into the column. So with that, I can see the region are Central East. So I can see like Patrick, in which region, how much is expenses. So we can like arrange the data based on what row breakdown or a column breakdown. And it's like very quick. You just need to drag and drop to reorganize your report without doing any manual calculation. And also, once I added the column, then we can see the column also sorted in the order. So I'm going to leave it in the ascending order by the region. Or if you still choose the sum of expenses, then maybe the highest to lowest will be arranged. Then we are moving to the value. So now we already have the sum of expenses. And also I would like to get in total by the sales value. So I'm just dragging the sales into the value. Or do you want to like position below, above? So I would like to put above the expenses. So we can see now for every region and manager, we get to see the value for this is the sales value and this is the expenses. So we can compare also side by side. So we are allowed to add multiple data into the value. And also another quick way of analyzing your data in pivot. Let's say I'm going to drag again the sales value into the value. And now by default, the calculation is sum and show as now by default just total on the sum. And I would like to make it as a percentage report. So I would like to make a percentage breakdown by region and manager with a grand total. So we can just go and make this as a grand total percentage. So with that, I notice the grand total for sales value will be 100%. So we are breaking down according to the region and manager. So how many percentage? So all these calculations are already preset into the pivot table in Google Sheet. So we just need to choose the option. So for example, now if I change it to like row, then I might say, sorry, not show as column, then I can see that, okay, only for central region all become grand total 100. So like Patrick, how much contribution for central, or Sam, how much is the contribution? So the calculation on the percentage are already pre-set, and we also allowed to make like custom calculation. Maybe, for example, you want to know the expenses over the sales, how many percentage of the expenses from the sales. So we can do the more calculation as well. So with that, due to the time constraint, I think we are setting up for a 1 hour. I would like to demo all these features are available, and we would like to go more on it during the session. So with that, I'm going to like ending my demo. So I picked up some of the topics that we can quickly do reporting and to capture the data entry by using those features available. But there are many more interesting features apart from this. So hopefully time to time in the upcoming session, I will can share with you. With that, I'm ending my demo. Jess?
Yeah, thank you, Jarina. So here we come to our Q&A sections. We can see a few questions there. Yeah, Jarina, you can see that?
Yep, I can see the questions.
Okay, let's see. Let us start with the most simplest one, I think. May I know? Yeah, so may I know, can we know who is the last one edit the file since it's shared to many people in the organization?
Oh, actually, when we go to the versioning history, right? The versioning history will actually show us the who edited the file, and also the time everything will be captured over there. And also even for your own self, right? The versioning history will be very helpful because it can actually go and show you the editable file, and also it allows you to like recover the previous version as another copy as well. So you can like actually go to your file, drop down, and then you can see version history, and then you can see the see version history. Then from here you can see that the user and also the history of the edited file from here. Yeah. So like for example, I started the thing around 10 something, right? So from there I can see the timing, or even I have prepared this sample in yesterday night, so I can actually see the previous one as well, like the as per my last editable one, yeah, including like who is edited the file. So with that, for example, if I would like to keep
Jarina?
my folder, yeah.
Sorry, can you reshare again your slide? Your Windows.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
All right. So maybe I just do that. So in order for you to get the who edited the file, and also you want to know like when the versioning history, right? We just need to go to the file tab and then version history, see version history. And then with the version history there, then I can see the person who edited, including the timing as well. And also the most that I love here, like I can make a copy from that as well. So for example, maybe this is my older one that I edited about 6 hours ago, and I would like to get all this as another copy of the file. So when I go here, click the 3 dots over here, then we can make a copy from here. So when you make a copy, maybe I can say that my demo, let's say version, like all version or whatever the name that you would like to define for it, then you can just save it into your respective folder here. So for example, I'm having my my drive with the Google Sheet here. All right. So after selected, make a copy. So that copy also become another one. So that means the latest changes not there to see lah. So that will be the versioning history here to see the history and also the who edited the file. Jocelyn, pass to you.
Yes, yeah, thank you for explanation for that. So we will see from the, just now someone asking about this Microsoft Excel has the same capability like Google Sheet. I think the answer should be yes.
Okay, thanks for answering that. If you are comparing with Excel and also Google Sheet, right, I would say that 90% of the features are similar. But due to maybe there are some features like additional features available in Excel, some additional features are available also in Google Sheet, not in the Excel. For example, like just now when I showed the drop down I can set coloring as well. Whereas in a in Excel, you can make a drop down, but you can't make it like you can't do the coloring like just now. Remember when we go to the, or not this one, the previous tab, right? Oh no, wait, after the changes. Oh, I didn't save that. Okay, never mind. So you can see the coloring as well. So 90% of the features are almost the same, but we still follow the limitation of respective application.
I see. So
Yeah.
meaning we can say like that is Microsoft Excel, it have more complex and actually is more complete for some of the formulas, and Google Sheet will be the simplest ways. And then like just now the beginning I also mentioned Google Sheet is more on fast and simple, and the formulas also will be, I mean the limitation also will have some in the Google Sheet, is it?
I would not agree to that statement where like Google Sheet is like not, Excel is a more complete features or what, but as I said, both of them are having the like maybe additional features here and there, which is not available in the other apps. So when we are comparing, I would say all the features that you can use in Excel also available in Google Sheet.
Okay.
So
it
nothing,
depends.
nothing we to compare like, oh, this is more comprehensive compared to Excel, more comprehensive to Google Sheet, but we don't come to that conclusion. Like.
Okay, understand. So meaning it will depends on your needs.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So we choose one more questions because we are rushing out of time. So maybe Jarina, you can choose one question from the list.
Okay, and also I think due to the time constraint, later we will take all the questions and then answer, and then we can email to them as well, yes?
Yes, sure. So I will compile all the questions.
Yeah.
So later on, yeah, I will ask Miss Jarina to help me put in the answer. So after that, we will send over to all of the attendee today.
Okay. And I think I can pick another one last questions here, where
Okay.
they're saying that is there any way to unlock protect sheet that we forget the password? Actually, the password protection is more on the security, but there is no any built-in feature to just go and hack the password or like, to remove the password. But we can use macro, which is like by using the VBA code. So we can write the code in order to like remove the password. So in many organizations, like we can say maybe my previous colleague, but then left the company already. She's the one holding the password, but I'm not sure how to this one. So we can write the macro to remove the password. Is in case if you like cannot remember lah. But there is no any other built-in feature like to just remove the password, because that's like security feature, right? If they make it very simple to remove, then it doesn't meet the purpose of protection.
Yes, understand that. So since we are running out of time, there are some questions that we unable to answer. No worry, we will compile all the answer from Jarina and send to your email as soon as possible, but today or tomorrow morning. So by attending this workshop, I hope that all of you have gained the knowledge from our speaker, Jarina. To further understand more on this, you could refer to our upcoming training. So from here,
Yes, to interrupt you, maybe can
yes.
share the screen. You can share the screen to show the programs.
Yeah, sure. So you can see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah, so we have actually for Google Sheet, we have 3 levels of the training. So first is the foundation. All training is 1 day. So we have foundation, intermediate, and also advanced level. So how to differentiate that? If you are very new to the Google Sheet, you didn't know anything about Google Sheet, it's just you heard about the name, then you should go for the foundation level. But if you are using it already, you have some basic knowledge how to create spreadsheet with some simple formatting, then you should go for the intermediate level to enhance your knowledge. Then we have another level is the advanced level. So if you are doing you have the basic knowledge and you are attending the intermediate courses, or you are now doing some summarizing, analyzing data with the pivots, then you should go for the advanced levels. Okay, so you can scan the QR code for more details because we have linked it to our website. Then you might get the course outline. And if you don't understand anything or you need some help on the clarification, feel free to email to us, the tech center at info-track.com, or my email address also there, jesselyn.pat@info-track.com. So thank you again, Ms. Jarina, for answering those questions and for a great sharing session. I think it was yeah, thank you so much. So it was a pleasure to have all of you with us today. So to conclude this workshop, thank you for attending. We hope that you have learned and enjoyed this workshop. Hope to see you in our next upcoming workshop and in our class. See you again. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Hope to see you soon. Bye.